Hello, good day, everyone. Welcome once again to the Delali Network. Happy New Year, and just facing some little technical challenges, but we are working on restoring the challenge, and we will begin the session very shortly. So just hang on, please. Thank you. Hello, good day. Welcome once again to the Delali Network. Happy New Year to all our cherished listeners, viewers, and followers out there. Don't forget to share the links to our various platforms, that is Facebook, X, and YouTube. We are streaming live on these platforms. And this is our first live session of the year. We are bringing on board one of our good friends and brother who secured a fully funded scholarship in the USA. Currently, he's facing some little technical challenges behind the scene. So once it's resolved, I'll be adding him to the screen so that we can begin our session for tonight or this afternoon. But before we even begin, I'm going to share the link for me to take questions from any of us who has any question concerning funding, admission processes, anything concerning your study abroad. I'm sharing the links now in the comment section. Just go ahead and ask your question, and we'll address them whilst our guest joins us shortly. So just check the comment section and find the link and join me live and ask your question concerning any difficulties or challenges you have about this journey or this process. So I've shared it now on YouTube and on Facebook. So just check the comment section and join me live to ask your question. Okay, so unfortunately, I have my guest here. So the question time will come. I wanted to give opportunity to people out there to ask their question before you join us. But once you've been able to resolve the issue, we'll just kickstart the live. So, Ima, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Delali.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good too, by the grace of God.
Okay.
How is the USA treating you so far?
It's snowing outside right now, so everything is good.
Okay, okay, good, bless God.
Yeah.
So, who is Ima? My followers and my listeners out there would like to know who Ima is. So, if you can give us a brief introduction about yourself.
Okay. That question is a big question, but I'll try and summarize it as I can. So Emmanuel Saforo is a young guy from Ghana. I had my my basic education back from like Nankase, Koforidua, Suhum, that area. So like the eastern region, and then I had my senior high school at Latte Kuyapem. So that also in the eastern region. And then I fast forward, I was at University of Cape Coast to pursue my Bachelor of Education, Social Sciences, Geography major, and Economics minor. Um, and I was the valedictorian for the College of Education Studies. We graduated with a CGPA of 3.9 out of 4.0 scale. And then I was able to move to the US to pursue my master's degree in higher ed at Florida International University. So that is a snapshot about me.
Your profile is very huge. Valedictorian, that is huge. So before we even delve into our main issue, whilst in school, did you had this idea that when you finish school, you are going to be the valedictorian, or it came out of surprise?
No, that wasn't my goal. Someone from my background, like especially when you're a first gen student, the only thing that you usually have is God and the books and the opportunities that comes your way. So when I was in school, I was just you know doing my best. Those who know me from high school testify that I don't have all the resources, but then I make good use of the resources that the friends I have, borrow books here and there, and borrow stuff here and there just to make good of those opportunities. So the valedictorian wasn't my goal, but then I ended up being the valedictorian. I was doing my national service one time, and I was called into the College of Education that, oh, you are the best overall graduating students in the college, so prepare your speech. I was like, okay. That wasn't my goal. Yeah.
Well, that is very interesting. So, what advice do you have to young graduates out there who are still in school? What advice do you have for them, especially people who are interested in the study abroad journey?
So, something that an advice I would give is to make good use of every opportunities that come your way. Form really healthy and good relationship with your professors. Especially with the whole study abroad journey, it's more about people recommending you. The recommendation aspect of it. Study hard. GPA is very important. I've heard a lot of things where people say, "Oh, it's not all about GPA." Yes, it's not all about GPA, but then GPA also forms an aspect of the whole process. So study hard, do community service, build relationships, you know, volunteer. Volunteer. It's not everything that is about money, money, money. If you see anything, any course, any community service, anything that you are passionate about or you're interested in, volunteer your time to contribute to other people's development because it's gonna go a long way to help you and also to help you build your resume as well.
Okay. Looking at your background, um, it looks like you come from a humble beginning. And looking at the town in which you come from, and financially, would study abroad had been possible if you didn't find yourself in University of Cape Coast?
I I don't think so. I don't think that looking from where I come from, my town specifically, and if I hadn't been at University of Cape Coast or if I haven't gone through like probably tertiary, I wouldn't have come across that study abroad opportunity because you know, it's more so like when you don't have the exposure, you don't know what's ahead of you. Probably you think that, oh, I'm gonna go to school and come back and do this. But then when I went to the university, I was able to get to know about, oh, the study abroad. Um, when you study hard, there are even scholarships avenues available and stuff like that. And then even with the financial aspect, like the background I come from, the university provides avenues for you to, do things whilst you're on campus to earn some extra income. For those who know me back in the university, I was doing this Momo like susu thing. I was just doing like helping out people just to make those extra things to help myself in school. So it's just taking those opportunities that comes your way. Yeah, there's no excuse, bro.
So from your definition, it looked like you hustle really hard back on campus.
Yeah, those who knows me. Like I when I was reading my valedictorian speech, I even mentioned some of the things I did because when always I tell people that you don't have any excuse as to why you wouldn't achieve your goals because when you know the backgrounds that you are coming from, you have to be strategic as to what you do with your life. So that was my fuel as to the things that I was doing and the decisions I was making.
Okay. Finding yourself in a good university like University of Cape Coast alone wouldn't contribute to your study abroad journey or you beginning your study abroad journey. So what strategies did you implement which gave you the exposure and help contributed to your journey when you were in UCC?
So when I was in UCC, as I said, the education was one of my priorities. So I was really closer to like people who are really excelling. Like if I see a specific teaching assistant that was really doing great work, I get closer to ask like, how are you doing it? How are you able to become a teaching assistant? How are you able to excel in your academics? So talking to I remember one of my teaching assistants, Mr. Joseph. Probably he's a doctor now. It's been a long time I got in touch, but he was someone really I really talked to a lot about like how I want to really excel in my academics and stuff like that. So he was motivating me, telling me about it's possible. And so when because teaching assistant, I think they are just there for 1 year. So when he finished, I still was able to be in contact with him and I realized that he has traveled. So around that time, I was like, he has gone for the study abroad. So I was in level 200 around that time. So I realized like, oh, there's a pathway like this. When you study hard, you still be able to continue education outside the country. So that was when I was just in level 200, but that was when I was like, okay, there's a pathway. Let me study hard. So that was the moment that the study abroad thing started um being part of my goals, that this is something that I really want to study hard and get like an outside experience.
Okay. Someone will say, oh, but you were valedictorian with 3.9 out of 4.0. You got it very easy because your GPA was very high. Out of thousands of students, you were overall best. What will you say to that?
It's not true. It's not true. As a matter of fact, during my first attempt for doing the study abroad journey, I failed, and I've shared it.
So you
Yeah,
failed.
yeah, I didn't with my 3.9 on my first attempt. I failed, like I failed, and I had to learn from those experiences to better myself. Even though I had a 3.9 GPA, it's all about being strategic as to, because even making a wrong program decision, regardless of your 3.9, let's say you have 3.9 in chemistry, and decide to apply for like physics, it's wrong fit. So if you have a you're a valedictorian in biology, you cannot do like a physics. Like you get a concept. So even though I had a 3.9 with a Bachelor of Education, Social Science, Geography major, Economics minor, I was having challenges with the program fit. So it was after the first round that I failed. That was when I sat back to look at my experiences, my interests, my passion, and where I really fit well. That's when I came to discover the higher ed and student affairs field that I applied in, and I had a fully funded opportunities to multiple schools. I just had to make the decision to go to one school.
Okay. So if you're watching us now, we are live on the Delali network on Facebook, on X, that is Twitter, and on YouTube. Share the link. We have over 40 people watching us now. We want to increase the numbers. So share the link, invite your friends to join and your family members to join because we just began the journey. I'm very glad that you mentioned failures because it is one thing that most study abroad content creators or successful study abroad applicants shy away from. What were the failures in your study abroad journey? My followers and viewers would want to learn from your failures so that they don't repeat those same mistakes.
So I think the first failure on my part was I was over reliant on my valedictorian aspect. Like because I had a 3.9 GPA, I I I let it go into my head. Like it got into my head too much. Like I was
Okay.
being too over reliant on that without paying attention to the other aspect of the application. You know,
Okay.
the application, there's a statement of purpose, is you have your resume, you have to work on recommendation letters on all those other aspects. But because of the 3.9 GPA, I didn't really pay too much attention to those other aspects. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing was also the program choice. I think at that moment I really didn't know like what my experiences and background and my interests could really land me on. I was just, applying just because because I had a geography and economics as well as education.
Okay.
So I really didn't know where I wanted to go because I wasn't I wasn't how do I put it? I didn't make a good decision because I had like interest in the higher ed and those things, but at that time I didn't really know there was even a pathway for something like that. So I was mostly like looking at the geography. I had experience like geography, but I think what I wanted to do wasn't that fit. So it showed up in my statement of purpose and all those other things, and I wasn't like a candidate that the schools that I applied for were looking at. So I would say these are the two major things, that the program fit and also being too over reliant on my GPA.
Okay. We are very grateful that you've shared your failure or the reason for your failure with us. At least our viewers or listeners out there will learn a thing or two from. You mentioned program fit or program selection. How do prospective graduate applicants who are watching us live now or who will be watching us later be able to select a program that fits into their academic pathway or their career pathway and also land the funding? If you can give us insights on that.
Okay, um so the program fit is, I think, is one of very crucial topics that I study abroad content creators can talk more about, because you can do one major in Ghana and you'll be very like a high candidate in multiple programs or advanced programs in other countries.
Okay.
So it comes back to the profile of the person, your experience. So let's say um you have like you did BSc biology or molecular biology in Ghana, and you have a lot of experience working in the biology field, like your work experience. Obviously, when you are going to apply for an advanced degree, you should be looking at something because it shows that you have the interest. That's why you are working in the biology field and you have a BSc also in biology. So you should be looking at the biology aspect. You can also look at other related programs because sometimes you won't see MSc biology, but you will see MSc something something biology. So before you apply to any program, first think about interest because interest goes a long way as to whether you can pursue the program. Because some of the programs, if you don't have the interest in, you will find it difficult. You'll be dredging the program. So look at your interests, look at your qualifications, and look at like your work experience or your work qualification or research interest, as well as your educational qualifications. There should be alignment. If those alignments are there, it will help you when it comes to selecting the advanced degree that you want to pursue, because before you even apply to every program, you want to read about what is the core of this program, what are some of the courses that they offer. Do I have the prerequisites to be able to pursue this program? Some of the programs they will be telling you that, oh, before you can pursue this program, you have to have a prerequisite, maybe calc this or have this that. So before you apply to the program, if you don't have those prerequisites, you won't be successful in that program. And some of the programs today will say we accept people from all varied backgrounds. You just have to, this and that. So I think the program alignment and your interest is one of the key things that will help people to do to select right program for them. And also they shouldn't forget about their interest. Yeah.
Is it always that I have to follow my interests, or sometimes I have to put my interest aside and follow what is going to work for me and help me get admission and funding? If you can answer that for us.
So, you know, when it comes to the study abroad, you know how they look at your background, your academic background. So, and I always say that people have multiple interests. So let's say you have a communication like English or whatever, you have like the literary devices, those degrees, but then probably you are passionate about mathematics. When it comes to pursuing an advanced degree in mathematics, I don't think your bachelor's in English, that aspect, will help you, even though you are passionate about mathematics. They would want to see your performance in the area that you are applying to. So sometimes you can be passionate about music, but then you don't have anything to show for like your portfolio, your advancements in music. So when you're applying for music, it's gonna be a challenge. So it's I wouldn't say interest alone can stand, because sometimes you will need to show reasons why you need an advanced degree in this area, and you don't have anything to show, and you are competing with people who have interest as well as academic background in a specific area. That means that those people are going to have it over you. So you may have your interest, but you still need other things to add to it to make you a very strong candidate. I don't know if it makes sense.
It makes sense, absolutely. It makes sense. So, in essence, even though interest is important, you have to also consider other factors, if I am right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So,
people have,
okay,
sorry,
continue. Continue,
and I'm
continue.
saying that people have multiple interests. So those interests that you think aligns with those backgrounds that you have probably will have a stronger case than if you have interest and you don't have anything to show for it. So it's also more like if you have an interest, you should look at those other factors that will make you a stronger person in that aspect.
Okay, okay. So, I am a fresh graduate out of school and I want to begin this study abroad journey.
Mhm.
What is the first thing that I need to do? Just like in your case, fresh graduate out of school, maybe done with national service or still doing national service. What was the first thing you did before beginning this journey? Was it like, okay, somebody recommended a school to you and you just went ahead to apply? Was it like you put together some documents? Was it like you took money from your parents or you saved money before? If you can outline what you did so that people watching us out there who are fresh to this and want to start will follow your steps.
Okay. So you're a fresh graduate out from school and you want to do study abroad. I think first you need to know what degree you want to, what advanced degree. I wouldn't say the list, whatever I'm going to talk is not in order of preference. It's just most about things that you have to look at. So you need to gather your material, so like your transcripts, your certificates. You need to know which professors will be writing recommendations for you, your SOP, your resume, all those other things. But first of all, you need to know what program that you are looking to pursue. What is the advanced degree that you are looking? Because if you don't have that, it will be difficult to do certain other aspects of the study abroad. So I think the first one has to do with what degree and even what country.
Okay, so what degree and what country?
Yeah, I think what advanced degree and what country. That those two things are some things that you need to make a decision on. Yeah,
Okay.
what
So,
degree and what country.
okay. So in your case, what degrees were you looking at and what countries were you also looking at?
So I so initially in the first attempt I looked at geography. But in the second attempt, after I discovered there was something that I was really passionate about, as I mentioned about like earlier on, even though I was interested in like geography, I had interest in like the student affairs or the higher education stuff. Um,
Go ahead, go ahead.
Delali, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Delali, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
I can't hear you.
Oh, wow. I'm coming.
Yeah, I don't know if other people can hear me.
But I can hear you, Ima. Just hold on.
Oh,
Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you, bro.
Wow. Let me just.
Can you ask in the comment section if they can hear you? Because I can't hear you.
Okay.
Can they hear you?
Yeah, they've responded in the comment section. They said they can hear me.
Do you want me to exit and come back or what?
Sure, 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 sure.
Okay, let me do that.
Technology sometimes. Please, if you can hear your host, just leave a comment for me. Oh, we can hear both of you. Oh, okay. In the comment section, they are saying they can hear both of us. Okay. Let him just rejoin. Let's just give him some few seconds. Oh, great, 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 great. Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you both. We can hear you here. Okay, great. Yeah, Ima,
Yeah,
can you hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, in the comment section, they've confirmed that they can hear both of us as well.
Oh, okay. I don't
Yeah,
know what was happening there.
sometimes network, right?
Yeah. So I was saying something.
Yeah, concerning program choice and country selection.
Yeah. So you asked me about mine. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So as I said, back to the previous question about whether interest alone. So I had like people have multiple interests. I had a geography interest and also the higher education experience and also interest. But when I was applying for I had at first I was looking at geography, but I realized that the program I read in Ghana was Bachelor of Education, Social Science, Geography major, Economics minor. And so I realized that the program that I was applying to, even though some of them I had admission, I was competing with people who have done like a BA geography. So like they've done a lot of geography courses. I was also competing with people who have done like a geography and regional planning. So even though I had the geography background and I had the interest in other people and I had a 3.9, other people had a lot of geography courses than me. And even though they may not have like 3.9, they were still heavier as in the geography aspect. And so
Because
they
geography
because
was their major and it was your minor.
no, it was my major all right, but the
Okay.
kind of the content I had taken, they
Okay.
had a lot more content than what I had taken because remember, I was
Okay.
doing geography, economics and education. So it
Okay.
means in every semester, I'm taking some courses in geography, at least a course in economics and also education. So that
Okay.
means that, and for those other people, if they are doing geography alone, it means that most of their courses or almost all their courses are in geography. So
Geography.
such a person, if I'm competing for a master's in geography, the person is carries more weight than me. So even though I had an
Even
interest,
though your GPA was good.
even though my GPA was good, so the GPA is good, but sometimes they also look at the content on your GPA. So that's why I'm always saying that the interest, you may have the interest, but then if you don't have other things like, on my transcript to show that I'll be able to excel in that advanced degree, it's gonna be difficult. But then I had another interest, which was the higher ed I got to learn about that. It's a field of study because I didn't really know about, like, there's a field of study like student affairs, or if you do some things on college campus, you can help students for support and those other things. So I
Okay.
got to learn about that. And I was like, oh, and even for that program, they didn't really require a specific field of study. So like, oh,
Okay.
I have this other interest. I really love doing this. So I put the interest in the form of the SOP, and I was able to. That was the second round where I was able to earn multiple fully funded opportunities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we even come there, can you list the document, because people say they are taking notes so that
Okay.
they can just write it down whilst they are preparing for their journey? What are the documents they need to get quickly? If you can mention them so that they can just write them down. I'll also be typing them as you mentioned in the comment section.
So okay. So for the study abroad journey, you need your passport. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a travel document. You need your passport.
Okay.
You need a resume talking about your experiences, your volunteer, your work experience, your academic background. So you need a resume slash CV.
Okay.
You need a personal statement. Other people call it statement of purpose, letter of intent, goal statement. I believe is the same thing.
Okay.
And then you need recommendation letters. So
Okay.
far, the highest I've seen a school taking is three recommendation letters. So you need I haven't seen any school taking more than three unless there's a school like that, but I can't say. But you need recommendation letters, so target between 2 to 3 per what I know. Some of the schools you need to write other essays as part of in addition to the statement of purpose or the personal
So
statement.
let's say a writing sample,
Yeah, a writing sample, something like that. Yeah.
then your transcripts, right?
Yeah, you need your transcript, you need your certificate. Um, and with the certificate, sometimes you are still in school, you don't have the certificate yet. You can use your transcript and then probably you add the certificate later. Um, so it depends on situation, but you need a transcript and certificate as well. Um, what else?
Okay. So I've just projected what Mr. Ima has mentioned: your passport, your resume or your CV,
Resume,
personal
personal statement.
statement or the
Mm-hmm.
statement of purpose or goal statement, as he mentioned, all boils down to like the same thing. Recommendation letters, he said either three or two. Writing sample, not compulsory, as he mentioned, depending on the school you're applying to.
Yeah.
Then unofficial or official transcript and your official certificate.
Yeah, and some of the schools may also require transcript evaluation. So it's a school specific thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So among all these documents you've mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
are there documents that I have to prepare down immediately, or just some of them are required immediately and other ones will be developed as I have settled on what program and what school to apply to? If you can clarify that.
Yeah, so I'm on. i- If you want to bring the yes, good. So thanks. So among all these documents that we have on here, um, some of them you can start working out on it now. Like your passport, your resume. Your resume it can be a developmental resume in the sense that it shouldn't be finalized. You can keep updating it until the time that you're about to submit your application. And then your personal statement. Can you hear me?
You might go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, I don't know. You go back and you come. Hello,
I can hear you,
hello. You can
Ima.
hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Me, I can't hear you.
Oh, then you have to exit and come back again.
Okay, give me 1 second.
I don't know why this keeps on messing up like that. Please, if you have any idea on how I can resolve this challenge, you can just reach out to me backstage, and we'll do better in our subsequent streams, which will be coming off ending of this month. So I'll be sharing that information as well at the end of the session. Yeah,
Meaning, I don't know what happens when it goes and then when you come back, I don't hear from you again.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so let's continue. I've displayed that.
Okay, so as I say, you can get your passport now. Your
Okay.
resume, you can start working on it until you're ready to submit your application, and then you submit that. Your personal statement, once the personal statement, you can have like a skeleton, but then it cannot be fully developed until you know the program that you want to pursue.
Okay.
Recommendation letters, you can start talking to professors or identifying professors who really know you and can talk about your um who you are as a student and your ability to succeed in a graduate program. Writing sample, you can start taking down some of the good papers you think you've written, and then putting them down in case there's a writing sample opportunity you want to use that. Some of the schools, they will give you a question to work around the writing sample. Some of them too, you just have the opportunity to submit any writing sample that you have. Official and unofficial transcript. When you can start gathering those information depending whether you graduated yet or not. But then your certificate to when you graduate, you have it. So that is my take on those things that like you just put on the screen.
Okay. So does it mean I don't have to go to, let's say, my department or my former professor or lecturer and say, "Oh, I am planning to apply to schools in maybe US, Canada, or Australia. I need
Mhm.
recommendation letters. Please write it for me so that I can take the paper recommendation and send it to my house." Because there are people who actually think that way. That's why I'm asking.
So
So
I
clarify on
think,
that very well.
yeah, I think that was a thing way back, but
Okay.
right now most of the schools are veering away from that. Now the only thing that they need is the email, the name, the title, the position, the department of that specific professor, and then in your application portal you input those information, and then they will generate a link and send to the professor, and the professor will complete that on your behalf. So like the name of the person, their title, their position, their department, their institution, all and other information. They when you go on your application portal, you see what they want, and then you just have to enter those details, and then they will send a link or some form of communication to the professors, the professor that you input their details, and then the professor will take it from there by because the recommendation is a lot forms of like a lot of types or different forms, but then the professor will see and then do it on your behalf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much
Because
for that
yeah,
clarification. Okay.
yeah.
So,
So mhm.
okay, continue. You wanted to
No, I
add
was
something?
gonna say that you can take the paper one, but then one thing about the paper one also I've also seen is that it's usually more general, and so whenever you do like the one that you input the professor's details and then they reach out to those professors, usually it's specific because they will be able to you'll be informing the professor about the kind of program in the school that they will be reaching out to you. So it's um more heavier than the paper one.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So before I even continue with my question, I don't want to miss my cherished listeners and viewers their question in the comment section. So I'll be displaying them and we'll be responding whilst we
Okay.
continue with the session as well. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, 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 of course. Today we are here for them.
Yes. I have about two questions here in the comment section.
Okay.
From Nana Ajua Ejekum. Can a midwifery graduate also apply for the HESA program? Someone might not understand what HESA means. So before you even respond, I would plead with you if you can clarify what HESA means to
Okay.
listeners out there.
Yeah. So HISA means Higher Education and Student Affairs. Some program HISA, some program CSP, College Student Personnel is usually this is around the same program.
And I
Um,
think some also say Sahi, Sahe.
Yeah, student affairs and higher education. Yeah. It's usually similar programs. Yeah, a midwifery graduate can also apply to the HISA program. You just have to find your why. Why every program that you apply to, you have to find out your why. Per what I know, the HISA program, you don't really need a specific background to come in. The short to your answer is that yes, you can apply to a HISA program.
Okay. So Adra, Ima has done justice to that question. Please continue to share the link and invite others to join. We have over 50 people watching us now. We want to push the numbers up. So just share the link and let people join because we are still getting to the interesting part or portion of our discussion this afternoon and this evening. From is it Abonke? Please, can you clarify unofficial and official transcript? What does that mean?
Okay.
Before you
So
before you come, Adwa said her network. So can you please repeat your answer concerning the midwifery question? So let me just
yeah,
decide the question
it's a
again.
yes. Um, it's a yes. I said a midwifery graduate can also apply for the HISA program. So simple. It's a yes. Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned that the applicant just need to find out the why.
Why the HISA program?
Why do you have midwifery, but you want to enter into HISA?
Correct.
Okay, great. Thank you. Then the next question, please, can you clarify unofficial and official transcripts?
Okay. So I assume everyone knows what a transcript is. So official, once you complete the university, like once you graduate, the transcript you request for you will request for a transcript from your academic office or your academic registry. I've forgotten how they call the name, the office, but it's like
Yeah,
the
I think it's the registry.
okay. So
Yeah.
you request for your transcript from that office. Now, that transcript, when it comes to you, and you are using that transcript you are uploading that transcript in your application portal, it is unofficial. The same transcript, when the university submits on your behalf, it is termed official. Now, the difference is that official means it is coming from the issuing institution to the school that you are applying to. Unofficial means that the same document, you, the applicant, you are uploading it in the application portal. So that is what makes differentiate. So let's say you are applying, you went to UCC and you are applying to a university in the USA. When the UCC sends your transcript to that university in USA, it is official transcript. But when you upload the same transcript in your portal to that school, it is termed unofficial.
So I believe that has been tackled or done justice to. Okay. So concerning your school applications,
Mhm.
what factors did you consider in your school selection? And also, how many schools did you apply to?
Um, Factors. I think the first factor is whether the school applies, accepts, you know, int- no, all of them accept. But whether the school offer the program that I want to pursue, I mean the second round, whether they offer the higher ed program. So that was the my first like thing that I was looking at, and also whether they provide funding, full funding, because as part of my initial outreach to the program coordinator, I was trying to understand the funding package as part of the program because I wanted to really understand what I was getting myself to before I submitted my application. So most of the schools, or almost all the schools that I applied to, I was making sure that I have a good understanding about the financial package
Okay.
which is part of the program. So I think that is the big thing that guided my decisions as to the schools that I decided to apply to.
Okay. Okay. And how many schools did you apply to?
Hmm.
If you
I
don't
think
remember, maybe a rough idea, a rough estimate.
probably between three to five, maybe, or four. I don't remember.
Oh, it
because it
wasn't even up
blends
to
in
it
with the
wasn't even
first
up
attempt. Where
seven.
is it?
It wasn't even up to seven schools.
No, no, no. I don't think so. No,
Okay.
no, I don't think so.
Because the reason why
Yeah,
I'm asking is I know people who have applied to like 20 schools.
yeah. I have my thing about that too, but I I
We'll
didn't
get,
apply
we'll get
to
to
that many.
that.
I didn't apply to that many. Yeah, I
Okay.
applied because I really knew what I was looking for, and I had already done like my outreach, so I knew like the things that, yeah. And the money aspect. I think if I had a lot of money, I'd have applied to maybe a lot. I don't know, but I was really confident in, because I've learned from my mistakes. I was really confident in the few that I was looking at. Yeah,
Okay.
so I didn't apply to so many, not too many.
So does it mean when you research and you find a school and it doesn't give you funding, full funding, it was a no-go area for you, if
Yeah,
I
yeah,
am right.
yeah. It was a big no. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So prospective candidates, please let's listen carefully. He
And
mentioned, okay, continue.
and even if it wasn't full funding, maybe it wasn't it wasn't the top for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the schools I was really really looking at, probably around that time, around that time, even though I didn't really understand a lot about the process, probably I would have I considered some schools that, it wasn't really full funding, but funding was really the goal.
Okay.
Funding was like the big goal. Yeah, so that was it. If me right now, if I tell people, if it's not really, if it doesn't cover your tuition and at least your health insurance, nope. Yeah.
So does it mean you weren't having any deficits on your I-20?
No, I had surplus even. I didn't have no deficit.
Oh, wow. So you mentioned in the beginning that you had multiple offers that came with funding, right?
Hmm.
What made you settle on FIU? That's Florida International University.
It's funny because I was so one point I look at the money from the other schools. I look at the probably the location, and then it bound down to the email communication, like how prompt they were with me.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of just like these people really respond really fast. And even if they don't really have the response, or they don't have what I'm looking for, they still get back to me and let them know, oh, we've heard from you. We are working on this for you. So it was more so like thinking about me coming to a different country, like how, even though I was not there yet, the kind of like support I perceived from the email I was, receiving. I feel like I'll really thrive in this school. It was later that I got to even learn that the environment, the temperature is like Ghana. So I was like, oh, that was a bonus one for me. Yeah, but in the moment when I was making the decision as to what school I wanted to go, I was looking at the location, and I was also looking at like the email. Email. It was later after I accepted that I got to know, oh, um, the 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 weather is really awesome too. So I was like, okay, bonus.
Okay. If you can see my screen, I believe this is your school's homepage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Florida International University. So currently, would you advise prospective students to also look at FIU, or things have changed as compared to when you came in?
Yeah, it's a good school. I'll still encourage people to look into the school. And one good thing is that there's a growing international, like Ghana group there, so there's a lot more support. When you move to a different country, it's more so like how can I feel supported? How can I feel like I see my people and stuff like that. So there's a growing number of international, like Ghanaian students at FIU, which is really awesome. So if you are looking at a school, you can also look at FIU and then apply. Yeah, they have multiple graduate assistantships also on there. So Just make sure you are checking the school and the department for all those specific funding information.
They have about 173 graduate programs, that is for both online and in person, including hybrid, about 173 graduate degree programs. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're watching us now, you can just check them out. They have adult education and human resource development, African and African diaspora studies, applied AI, Internet of Things, architecture, biology, biomedical sciences, business administration, hospitality, civil engineering, computer science, counselor education, creative writing, criminal justice, curriculum and instruction, cyber security, data science and artificial intelligence. A lot. Educational leadership. I can't mention everything here, but they have a whole lot of programs. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're planning to apply, please don't apply for an online program because I don't think with an online program you can apply for the F1 visa, right? With an online program, can you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So if you're
I mean,
applying, take note of that.
online, yeah.
Okay. So there is a question here. Divine Kumashi Junior is asking, please, does FIU offer MPhil or MSc in public health? Since we are on the page, I think I can just double check for him, right, Emma?
Yeah, yeah, I just check that.
So P column public health. Um, public health, public health, public health, public health. Yeah, they have an MPH in public health and a PhD in public health, and also a public health with a
Biostats.
specialization in biostats. Yeah, and another one, public health, that is brain, behavior, and environment. That is for MPH and the PhD. Then they have
Yeah.
another one, environmental toxicology for the PhD. Then environmental health sciences, public health. We have epidemiology there as well. So yeah, they have a whole lot of specializations for their public.
Public health, yeah.
Yeah.
You have
Uh,
the health promotion and disease prevention too. Good.
yeah. Maternal and child health too is there as well. So Divine, you can check FIU out. PhD in economics. Someone is asking a question here. What of PhD in economics? Please. Okay, let me just double check that for you as well. I don't want to be biased, so let me just go to the economics. Yeah, they have a PhD in economics. An MA and PhD is handled by the Stephen J. Green School of International and Public Affairs. So an MA and a PhD in economics. So you can check that
Super.
out as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. Then there is a question here from Theophilus. I completed a project during my final year, but it was
Mhm.
not published. Can I include that in my CV?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. So even let me, because I was coming to this particular question before this person even asks. So you
Mhm.
made mention of a resume or an
Mhm.
academic CV. What makes up a good resume or what makes up a good academic CV?
Um, so a good CV or resume is a resume that really highlights the or quantifies your results.
Okay.
If you've heard talk me on my TikTok, I talk about some things that doesn't have to be on a resume. You don't have to put your marital status, you don't have to put your date of birth, you don't have to put references on. I think yeah, that was
So I think
the
before you even continue, Ima, I'm on Ima's page right now, Ima Saforo. Just go to TikTok and type this name there in the search box. You should find him. And if you look at the pinned video, the second one with
yeah,
108.1K, he said what? Do not put these things on your resume or CV if you want a fully funded scholarship. So
yeah,
please follow Ima on TikTok. Like he always comes on live and creates content on study abroad. He has a lot of videos actually, a lot of videos concerning your study abroad journey. So please just follow him and try and join his live anytime he comes online. Because once you follow him and he comes live, you would get a notification and join his live to ask whatever question you want. And he has a
yeah,
whole lot of videos here, a whole lot of videos. So please follow him now and also share these videos to people who are interested and ask them to also follow him as well. Let's push his numbers up. Yeah, Ima, continue.
Yeah, so apart from the what I said in the things that you don't have to put on your resume, some things that also makes you stand out is um talk quantify your results. So I've always talked about the STAR technique, which is a very common technique that you really usually want to use in your resumes or your interviews, because the STAR is the situation, T is the task, A action, and R the results. And most importantly, you want to focus on the results. So whenever you are talking about any specific function or role that you are playing, don't just be stating, oh, probably let's say you're a teaching assistant, so taught this number of students or this number of things. Talk about the impact of that action. That think of any bullet or any function under each role that you have on your resume. Ask yourself, does this talk about any results or impacts? Ask yourself that question. If no, try and refine that statement. And usually, I always say that resumes, for when you are looking at a graduate program, your resume shouldn't be more than 2 pages. Like for like when you're coming for a master's degree, you shouldn't have more than 2 page resume. So make sure your resume is, because resumes, they don't spend a lot of time. Your resume should really highlight who you are. For a resume to see, I should be able to see who you are, your performance, your conferences, if you have attended your presentations, your skills, and things that you know. Yeah, so if I pick your resume, I don't have to spend so many times to learn more about you. So your resume has to be straight to the point, highlight your results, your skills, and then you also showcase the impact that you are making. So yeah.
Okay. Just a quick question concerning the resume. Let's say I'm applying to a school. They've
Mhm.
mentioned I've submitted a resume, but the graduate school or my department hasn't specified the number of pages. But I've done a whole lot of things. I have a whole lot of achievement, which I want to use the STAR technique. And I end up getting, let's say, a 3 page resume or a 3.5 page resume or an academic CV. Is that also bad? Because per your submission, you mentioned that, in your opinion, a 2 page resume is fine. What if
Yeah.
I have more to put out there to sell myself? What happens to the rest?
So in my experience, people who say they have 3 or 4 page resume, I'm still able to look at that resume and put all that information on a 2 page resume.
Okay.
Sometimes they have so much spacing. Some so it's more so about spacing. The big thing I've seen is spacing, and some of the things that I've also seen is some of the things that they put on the resume that I believe shouldn't be on the resume. For instance, personal summary. I don't think you should put a personal summary on your resume. First thing I want to see on your resume is education. The reason why I don't think you have to put personal summary, you will say, okay, I'm a hardworking person who have accomplished this and that. I don't want that in a personal summary. I want to be able to see that, or it should imply that in all the other aspects of your heading. So if you're hardworking, you are impactful, if you are on those things, when you are talking about those single or those functions under each roles, I want to be able to see those impacts. So personally, I don't want to see a personal summary or personal profile, objective. Depending on whoever writes it, they have a different title for that. I don't want to see that on a resume. I want to see the first thing to be your education.
So does it mean adding that is not helpful?
Personally, I don't think it should be on there. I
Okay.
think that all those things that you are trying to highlight in that personal summary, it will be implied in all the other sections of your resume. And
Okay.
spacing is on also another thing. That and also sometimes they do what do you call it? The font size probably is too big.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is something that I want to also share. The 2 page should be fine. Max, if you have so many, and I don't think if you just graduated what do you call it? Bachelor's, and you're going for a master's, you shouldn't be able to fit everything that you have in 2 page. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But if I have, let's say, more than the 2 page, let's say max 3 page, it's still not bad, right?
Yeah, you can use it. If you have 3 page, you can use it. Yeah. One thing that you should avoid is a hanging CV. Now, what I call a hanging CV is like two and kitty kitty. So the 2 page is full, but then there's like a few and one and a half and also one full on the third page.
Okay.
Nope. If you take a page, make sure you are filling the page. It should be full size page resume. So don't do a two and quarter, two and a half, two and three quarter. No. If it's a two page, it's a three-page, three-page.
Okay. There is another question here before we continue from Theophilus. I have less experience, that is 8 weeks of practicum in my NSS, along with no leadership roles. Is this common for bachelors? I am curious if I still have I'm curious if I still have a chance with a GPA of 3.0. So he has a GPA of 3.0. You said he has less experience, that is 8 weeks of practicum and NSS, and no leadership roles. Is this common for a bachelor's? And with this profile, does it put him at a very good pedestal to get admission and funding?
Hmm. It depends, bro. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on the program that he's looking forward to. Um, Apart from the GPA, I don't know if he has a GRE. And the fact that is it common for bachelors, I think that to say, because we started talking about study abroad, people are learning their lessons and taking on extra opportunities. Because if it was in the past, I would say that yes, a lot of people don't really, they just focus on the academics, neglecting other aspects of the extracurricular activities. If it was in the past, I would say it may be true. But now, because study abroad is, and we are preaching that do involve yourself in other things when you're on campus. For now, as of today, I don't think it's too common for that aspect.
Okay.
Especially if the person has the study abroad in mind, the person will be developing other extra skills in addition to their GPA. I mean, it's not too late. You're still doing your national service. You can, be on committees. You don't have to always look at leadership roles in the academic setting or the national service. You can take on leadership roles in church, committees, your community, and all those other things. All those other things are very important avenues that you can exercise your leadership skills.
Okay.
Um, and
So
with a chance, it depends. It depends whether the program, the GRE, and I will also say that some of the schools even accept GPAs below 3.0.
yeah,
So it all depends. It all depends, bro.
but you have to put in the extra work, just like you kept
The
on hammering on from the beginning of the session.
extra work. Yeah.
Okay. So, what were some of the positive factors in your application which worked for you? That is on your resume or your CV and on your statement of purpose, which aided you to land this fully funded with a surplus from FIU.
So I would say that first of all, my professors knew me.
Okay.
So the recommendation letters I had was really customized for me. They knew me
Personalized.
really, yeah. It's
Okay.
a really personalized statement of purpose. They knew me first, and if they say Saforo, they know who. So that really helped me. Recommendations, I would say that I don't know what they put in there, but they knew me. So I was really confident that whatever they were writing about me was reflecting who I am as Emmanuel Saforo. Apart from the recommendation, I think also my GPA was good. I mean, the recommendation will highlight how I'm a good student. So my GPA backs it. So the profile, once again, the profile. My resume too, even though I was studying, I wasn't only book. Those who know I'm really involved. Like I do other things. Like people knew me on campus.
So,
So
what were some of those things you were doing on campus which you advise prospective applicants to start doing before they even finish so that they don't regret or say, had I known, I should have done this whilst I was in school?
yeah, so I was involved. So I was when it comes to my hall, my floor, I was involved, like advocating for like the floor members and all those other things. When it comes to my where I lived on campus, I'm always the type that if something is not really going right, I want to like communicate that to the in charge.
So,
So
you
I
were
was
like a rebel leader back on campus, right?
no, 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 no. I was like I like because we are paying money. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
We are paying money. So if there's someone is not doing something right, I'll have to let the appropriate quarters get to know about like, oh, probably we have this facilities concern. We have these issues in this place. Who is the best person to talk to? So more so like, voicing concerns to the in charge to help out. Um, and apart from that, like I was also the faculty. So the faculty, we do student consultancy, staff student consultancy meeting, and all those other things. I was attending those things, getting involved. And then at some point, JOSOC, I was also doing certain things in the JOSOC, which is like the Geography Society.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I was also helping out in that aspect. So any kind of opportunity that I get, I was putting myself out there, whether because those things are more of like voluntary and stuff like that. So I was
Okay.
just putting myself out there to be involved and build relationships with people.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And then my statement of purpose, I made sure that I was highlighting those. There's no experience is small. No experience is small. There's no one big. No experience is small. Make sure that you are those experiences that you have, you're highlighting in your personal statement. Personal statement has to be personal. Don't be more general, be specific. Those little things that you did, make sure you're highlighting that in in the personal statement. Personal statements are more specific. It should be specific. And those in Yaman Kitten that I did on campus, I was making sure that I was putting on the resume. You may think it's not, oh, why do I put the resume? All experiences are valuable. So make sure that you are putting all those things on your resume.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to graduate school application process, admission and funding, how important are these two things? One, being a teaching assistant, and two, being a research assistant. How important, and is it advisable to find yourself in at least one of these roles or both of these roles whilst you're in school?
So teaching and research assistant, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those 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 roles are important. Um, teaching assistant and research assistant is really important, especially if you are looking at an advanced degree that the graduate assistantship is likely to be a teaching or research position.
Okay.
Those are really key, really, really key. So some other assistantships is more like administrative assistantship, which if you have done like a teaching assistantship or research assistantship, it may help, but probably other experiences can also help. But overall, like a teaching and research assistant is crucial when you are looking at a research assistantship position.
Okay. Okay. Let's come to funding.
Mhm.
We've touched a lot on the admission process. Please, if you have any question which you are expecting me to ask about the admission process, which I have not asked, you can humbly leave your question in the comment section of either Facebook or YouTube. I'll just project it for my guests to attend to it. We are coming to the second aspect, which is the funding and the interview aspect. So,
Mm.
talking about graduate school funding, are funding given out to students just because they have a high GPA, they are valedictorians, or they are the best out of the best, or funding goes beyond having a high GPA?
Funding goes beyond having a high GPA because it's the funding, depending on the funding, right? They want to see the experiences or the value that you're gonna bring to the team. If
Yeah.
it's a research, you are joining a research lab, they want to see the skills that you possess.
Okay.
You know the R's, you know the MVivos, you know the starter, all those Pythons, C++, all those things. They want to see the value that you bring. So just because you have a high GPA and you don't know all those other skills, it's likely that you're gonna give it to somebody who has a lower GPA than you, but still have those other skills. So it's not only about GPA when it comes to funding, it's about the skills. Because when you look at the position description for any assistantship that you're applying for, they will tell you about the the required qualifications and preferred qualifications. And usually you see writing skills, technical skills, skills, and all those other things. Yeah.
Okay. Before I continue with my next question, there is a question
Yeah.
here from Divine Kumashi. Please, what do you make of code? Uh, okay,
He was trying
code.
to say cold
Oh,
emails.
okay. Is this? Let me just correct it for him. Let me just project it. So please, it's not code, but it's code. Is that what do you make of cold emails? What goes into it? Cold emails.
All right. So in this contest, I'll assume that the cold emails to professors who you are trying to ask them to be your supervisor, because not all the programs require you to secure an advisor or a supervisor before you apply. So I'm
Okay.
gonna take the question in that context where you need to secure an advisor. So when you are reaching out to secure an advisor, that is after you've seen on the website that they are accepting students and all those other things. First, you would want to do a research on the person to see their lab, their current project, things that they are working on. Now, when you are reaching out to them, you would let them know that this is the first one, your introduction. Probably, hi, my name is Emmanuel Saforo. I am a graduate from the BSc Psychology program at University of Cape Coast, where I graduated with a GPA of maybe 3.7. I'm writing this email to ask for you to be my advisor for this program that I'm applying to. I see that you are accepting students, and I've also probably viewed your the lab that you are currently working on this project. This is the experience that I have, and this is why I think I'll be beneficial to the lab. So you state, so the first paragraph is introducing yourself and why the email. The second paragraph is letting them know like you want them to be you've already told them that you want to be like you want them to take you as a student, but then the body of the paragraph is showcasing why you are interested in the lab and the value that you want to bring to the lab. And then the last paragraph is probably attaching your resume, any writing sample you have, anything that connects to that interest, and then probably asking them that you'll be more than happy to schedule probably a 15 to 30 minutes meeting just to talk more about why you'll be a great fit for the lab, something like that. It should be straightforward, and it should be a short email. It shouldn't be so long. It should be something that somebody can read and request for a meeting, something like that. Yeah.
It just drew my attention to something. Requesting for a meeting actually works like magic. There is a friend of mine who did that, and as I'm talking to you now, he has a full ride and preparing for his interview in one of the schools in US for
Wow.
political science. He has a full ride for political science.
Well, in the US,
Yes, in the US. I can share with you after the
yeah,
session. It's not something that I can put out here. So
yeah, I know it works.
yeah.
I hope that they take note of whatever we are discussing here, because these are like gold information.
Because he just reached out to the prof, code email, requested for a session. They had a meeting. The prof said, "Look, your interest aligns with mine, and looking at your resume and what you've done so far, I believe you're a good fit. Give it a shot. When you're admitted, I'll fund you." When he applied, lo and behold, he got admission, and the funding followed. Full funding for masters, political
Good.
science.
Wow. Wow.
So as you mentioned, the code email and scheduling for an interview,
Yeah.
scheduling for a meeting with that prospective supervisor works magic a lot.
Yeah. 15
But
to 30 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes. And there's not a lot of time. They would
you
know you
also
are really
note that,
serious. Yeah.
but you should also note that you don't just submit any haphazard resume or CV or
Mm,
any haphazard writing sample. You should be well prepared. If not, some of them might see your emails, but they might ignore you. So just take note of that. So
yeah.
currently I'm on your program page. I'm just trying to share it with prospective applicants. MS in higher education. That's a Master of Science in Higher Education Administration. And let's come to the admission and see what is there. So before you even come to the program distance, just use the graduate admission checklist first, which is here. But I don't want to go there, but you can just click on that to see what graduate school requires before you even come to the program or the departmental requirement. Here's the departmental requirement. So I just noticed that the deadline is March 1st. But if you want assistantship, you have to apply by the priority deadline, which is the 31st.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that the deadline for the March 1st and the January 31st, even though I can still apply after the January 1st, but I think they are trying to communicate something to us. So if you can explain that to our listeners out there, Iman.
Okay, so usually priority deadline is for students who wants to be considered for funding. Because they want you to apply early so that they will look at the number of students that interested in funding, and then they will coordinate the funding process. But all other students can apply up to March 1st. And as yeah, so that is usually the priority deadline is more so about the funding aspect. Apply early so that we can see you can be considered for funding.
Okay. So then the requirement GPA 3.0 GPA in upper level undergraduate credit, GRE not required, statement of purpose or letter of intent or SOP required, recommendation letters 2, additional requirement, your resume and your bachelor's degree. So even this one doesn't require you to write any additional essay or even a writing sample, if I am right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then I think the requirements are kind of okay as compared to other HISA programs.
Yeah, but you would do transcript evaluation.
Okay. But during your time, there was nothing like evaluation, if I am right.
The school did it for us.
Okay. Internally.
Yeah.
Okay. Graduate assistantships are available each year on competitive basis. Our graduate assistants are placed within the Division of Student and Academic Affairs and follow the academic year, that is fall and spring. Graduate assistants provide a tuition Direct assistantships provide a tuition waiver, a bi-weekly stipend, and access to insurance coverage. Ima, then you really enjoyed whilst you were in school. You really, really enjoyed this. This is a lot of goodies for prospective students here.
Uh, yeah.
Okay. So let me go to the graduate admission checklist quickly. Let me share this and let's look at the checklist quickly. Okay, so the checklist. It says one, you have to do the online graduate application, which can be found using the website there. Oh, the application fee is just $30.
Mm-hmm.
That's cheap. Your time was it also 30 or it was more than that?
I don't think it was more than that, but it was lower. It was lower as compared to other schools I applied to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then your official university or college transcript from all institutions. So can you use an official to apply for them to make a decision before you submit the official, or official has to be added during the application process?
Yeah, I think you need to do the transcript evaluation
Okay,
for
so
the
the
admission
QS
decision to be made.
or Spantran will just send it directly to them.
Yeah, West or Spantran will send it directly. Yeah.
Okay. Then
Yeah. I
additional
don't.
requirements for international students, proof of degree or diploma, copy of passport, declaration and certification of finances. Can you
Yeah,
touch
that
on
one
this?
is
Will it be compulsory?
no. That one is after. So can you go up? Up? No,
Okay.
up.
Okay.
Yeah, so the transcript they have to send it. The West or Spatran will have to send it to FIU.
Okay.
The DCF during our time you only after admission that is when you because
You want-
you
Okay.
do the DCF to get your I-20.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. That's cool. And even I think if you have funding, you don't really have to worry about that.
you do the DCF, but you would use the funding letter to fill it out.
Okay. Okay. But if someone doesn't have funding, that is when you have to worry about those bank statements and those things.
Yeah, you still do the DCF, but you'll be worrying about bank statement. Like you have to provide bank statement.
Okay, so this is their checklist. You can
Yeah.
just check them out if you're interested. Please, the deadline is not due yet for the higher ed program, so you can check it out. And I know already like a whole lot of people have applied because they know there are a lot of goodies there. So if you want, you can give it a shot. But as Ima mentioned, you have to do a transcript evaluation. And for an
Yeah.
evaluation, I think I have a video. I'm coming for that on my YouTube channel. Um, Let me just see if I can pull that up for prospective. Yeah, West evaluation. So as you can see on my distance, I have the West evaluation process there. So in case you want to do an evaluation, just watch this video. It's a practical demonstration. Follow the steps and go ahead and do your evaluation.
And you can go to admissions.
Hello, Ima. Uh, yeah, hello, Ima.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah. And I was saying that you can go to admissions and then go under the international admissions. I will show them something.
Okay, so let me go to international admissions, right?
Yeah. I can't see your screen yet.
I want to pull that up before I share the screen.
Okay, okay, good, good.
Should I just go
So
to graduate or general? Graduate, right? Graduate school.
yeah, it should be under admissions, international admissions.
Okay. Okay. So let me just share the screen so that they can see how to search for that as well. I'm coming. Share screen. Um,
Mm, mm, mm.
okay. So I have this here. I'm coming. Let me just go back. Can you see my screen?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you can't see my screen. Can you see it now?
Yeah, it's loading. Yeah. So
Okay.
you go admissions
So admissions,
and then you go to international guide.
international guide. Okay.
Scroll down,
Okay.
scroll down.
Okay.
Good. You see,
International
uh,
graduate requirements.
yeah, yeah,
Should I
that,
click on that?
yeah, international graduate requirements. Yeah,
Okay. Can you see?
yeah. So scroll down
Okay.
and scroll. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Provide your college transcript. You see.
Okay. 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 So graduate applicants are required to submit an official translated transcript and a course by course evaluation of each post-secondary transcript they have acquired since leaving secondary school. This become the property of FIU and is expected applicants to use one of the NACES member credential evaluation services.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like the WES, the Spantran, the IEE, and other organizations. Okay, so there is a question here before we continue. There is it Sosuro is asking, how was his funding interview like? Can he kindly share some tips on that? Were you
Yeah.
interviewed before you were funded, or once you got the admission, the funding followed without any interview?
I was interviewed. I
Okay,
think I did 2 rounds of interview.
two rounds
Um.
of interview for the funding.
Yep. It wasn't easy, bro.
Can you share some tips? Maybe he has gotten admission and he's preparing for an interview. So if you can share some tips.
So practice, 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 and also find an alignment between your experiences and the role that you're gonna interview for. Because once I said the position description has the preferred, you read about what the job the role is about.
Okay.
There are required qualifications and there are preferred qualifications. So you have to think about how can I align or with the experience I have, how can I translate those experiences to do this work? So that is what you should be reflecting about. Now there are sample questions, a lot of questions online that you can prepare, but you don't know the questions that they're gonna ask you. But something I can always tell people is that when you are interviewing for an assistantship, make sure that you are giving practical examples and also
Okay.
using the STAR technique. Don't just be saying things general without giving practical things that you've done. So practical examples and using the STAR technique, and also practice. Just look for sample questions online, whether it's about the job or not, and then use it to practice why the role. Why should they give the role to you, not any other person? That question, practice how you manage multiple priorities, because you're going to be a student and you're going to be a graduate assistant. So you should be able to answer how you'll be able to manage those multiple priorities. You should be able to answer how you'll be able to accept different opinions or different views other than yours, because you are coming from a different background. You are coming to work with people also from different backgrounds. How do you make sure that all those other people feel respected, feel seen, and feel heard? So think about that. So all those things are things that you should be thinking about. And also start giving, you have to be able to give examples as to what you've done in the past that has highlight whatever you are talking about. So examples is key, practical examples. So yeah.
Okay. So talking about funding to Ima,
Mhm.
if you look at the whole application process,
Yeah.
this particular question has been popping up. Do I have to apply for admission and funding together, or I have to apply for admission first? When a decision is made and I am admitted, then I go ahead and apply for the funding. If you can respond to this question, because I've been getting a lot of questions concerning this. Does admission and funding that do I have to do it together, or I have to do it separately, or it depends on the school? So if you can tackle this thoroughly for my followers and my listeners.
Okay. So once again, it depends. Everything depends. In the whole process, the reason why I say it depends is that it depends on the school. It depends on the program. It depends on the level of study that you are applying to. So most of the things will depend. Now, before you even I always say this, before you even apply to any program, you have to really understand the funding process. Whether so back to your question, whether you are applying with the school, like you're applying at the same time you're applying for the program, or you have to apply at a certain time, or you have to wait till admission is in. Now, some of the programs, once you submit the application, it is being considered for the funding as well as the admission. So some of the programs, when you get accepted, it will come with funding. Some of the programs too, you get accepted and then they will call you to apply for an assistantship, and then you go and interview for those assistantships. Some of the programs too, you apply, they will admit you and send you offices that you should rank or select for you to interview with before you interview. So it depends. You have to find out with your specific school and your specific department what the graduate assistantship process looks like. And you can, before you even reach out to your program coordinator to ask this question, check the graduate school website about graduate assistantship, what the process looks like there. Check the specific program that you're applying to under funding, what the process says. Look at the FAQs on the graduate assistantship on the graduate school website and also the department website, because some of these informations are still there. Something that I ask people to always find out before they apply to the school is, even if funding, they say that funding is available, ask that as an international student, am I eligible to apply for that specific funding? Because per my experience, I've come to learn that there may be assistantships available, but some of the schools, those assistantships are not available for international students. So you may want to find out. So in that email to the program coordinator, if you don't know about how to apply for the assistantship, that is when you add all those other questions to it. So the FAQs, yes, you will see, you will find some of the information under the FAQs. Yeah.
For example, the question someone asked that I am a midwife, can I apply for the HISA program?
Yeah.
So they say what my under the HISA department, that's their page. My undergraduate degree is not in education. Can I still apply? Yes.
Hmm.
Many of our students have undergraduate degrees in other disciplines such as arts, sciences, or business.
Yeah.
So these are the FAQs for the HISA program.
So
Frequently asked
spend time.
questions.
They should spend time and review the FAQs, which is the frequently asked question, because most of your responses you'll find it there.
Even what your personal statement should cover has been stated here.
Mm-hmm.
Who should write your recommendation letters has been stated here.
Mm-hmm.
Estimated cost, GPA, and any other questions
Yeah.
have been captured under the FAQ. So please, as prospective international students, when we are reading, let's read widely.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just go and read only the general graduate school requirement and say, oh, there is this thing there or there is that thing there. Aside reading the general graduate school requirement, it is very important to go to your departmental website and find out what your department is saying as well. Because the general graduate school requirement gives you an overview of what international students who want to come and take a graduate program should provide. But there are some requirements that might be additional, which can only be found in your department or sorry, your departmental website. So as Imam mentioned, read and read widely. Don't go and do surface reading. You see, we've spent a lot of time on his school's website looking for this information or that information. And once he mentions, you go and double check, everything is right there. So your school, your prospective school's website should be like your bedroom. You should always sleep there. Read about it. Yes, and have every information at your fingertips so that you can apply and apply well. Because I believe sometimes because people also are unable to understand the requirement or they're unable to read clearly to get the requirement clearly, they apply blindly and they get denied. It's not that they don't qualify. I don't know if you've experienced that or you know some people who have also experienced that. If you can share your experience concerning this particular thing.
Yeah, it's even about people don't read. Like that has been my thing. Like they don't read, they don't spend time. They are eager to ask questions, but they are not eager to find out from the website before they ask questions. Because mostly things that they will ask you is usually on the website that you just point them back to it. So I would say that they should spend time. Spend time on the admission. One of the three tabs, those are the most commonly tabs that as an international student you should spend your time there. You spend time admissions and academics. Now, under academics, you are going to look at, so those two tabs, admissions and academics, those two tabs should be your friends, because under academics you're going to see the program whether they offer what you want, and then under admissions you spend time undergraduate admissions and also international, because if you're an international student you want to familiarize yourself with the international guide as well as the graduate or the general admissions requirements. So admissions and academics, those two tabs should be your best friends. Sometimes if you don't find the funding information, you can always click the search button on the school portal to type just a keyword. It will pop up. So for instance, yes, you can type anything you want in there and it will show you, just type higher ed, or is it,
It has even suggested.
you
Well, I'm
see?
not even done typing.
So it is, and it will pop up something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So sometimes when you don't know where to go, you can always use that search button up there, and then that was a good place to start from.
Thank you very much, Ima.
Hmm.
Okay, so there is another question here before I move on to the visa stuff, which I'll just spend about 5 minutes on. Then we'll take questions and we'll
Okay.
call it a day for the session.
Okay.
So Suro Robert is asking, In the same university at the same department, can you send code emails to two different professors whose research interests you like? I think
So
this question too is a common question we've been getting always.
yeah, I wouldn't I wouldn't recommend that you send to me, I don't think that you should send at the same time two code emails to two different professors at the same time. No. As I said, you may have multiple interests, but one at a time. If you reach out to one and they said, "Oh, I'm not taking more students," you can reach out to the other person. Don't do both at the same time. No, it doesn't sound for me. I think it doesn't sound great. So if you have those two different interests, look at the ones that really appeals to you. You have the experience, everything to back now. Focus on that one first. If you don't get feedback or you get some like, okay, my lab is full, you can focus on your next big interest, which is the other professor, and you reach out to that person.
Okay, so I think that question too has been tackled or answered. Okay, so Ima, concerning your visa interview at the U.S. Embassy in Ghana, um, I know very well because you had funding. You might have been reluctant, or you might have been a little bit relaxed. Can you share your experience with us concerning the interview? Were you
I
like
wasn't
asked because full funding with surplus?
I wasn't relaxed though. I wasn't relaxed,
And
but
you talk about your failure too. Does it mean as part of the failure you went to the embassy or you didn't go for any interview at all? That was your
mm-mm-mm.
first time.
Me, my goal was to get full funding before I step.
Okay,
So I've been to the embassy just for when I had the full funding. That's when I went.
okay,
But I wasn't like relaxed. I was prepping. Like I was really prepping because remember how people talk about the embassy. You want to make sure that like whatever you want to say, you have all your documentations and you have all your things right.
yeah,
So I wasn't like sleeping. Nope. I was really working hard towards my visa interview, getting all the required documentations and filling all the right forms that they are required of me. Yeah.
okay. And how was the interview like? How did it go? What were some of the questions you were asked? Will you say your funding made the magic or your preparation also counted?
Yeah, I think God I mean, you see, them I don't know. The environment is something. The way like people um you'll be seeing people are being bounced and people are happy. It's like mixed feelings, you know what I'm saying? So if you don't pay attention, you lose concentration. And you are standing too. I mean, you'll be sitting at some point and then you stand also at some point, as part of the process. Like you sit and then you stand for the interview. Um, you sit, you stand, you sit and you stand, yeah. But I was focused. I was making sure that I wasn't paying attention to a lot of things happening around me because there
Okay.
was a lot of things going on around you. If you don't take care, you'll be like distracted or you'll be nosy looking at someone. So I
Yeah,
was
people were
focused.
chopping their denials left and right, and some
Yeah,
people were getting the
so,
approvals.
some were also happy. Yeah, some were also happy. Like yes. So so I wasn't. I'm focused. I'm focused. I remember one of the questions that they asked me was how I got the funding.
Okay.
Yeah, it was around that question about how I got the funding because I had like everything. The funding was it was huge. So they asked me how I got funding, and I'll explain to them the process and everything. I was like, okay. And then I think they asked me where am I going to, something like that. So I talked about the school and the program and stuff like that. Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't spend a lot of time there. And then they took my passport. Yeah, yeah. So it was. I think preparations and God and also the funding all joined together really helped. And also being very very focused because if you are not focused You let your the things happening around you distract you. You go there and you be confused. You don't know what you're saying, or you just be like ta ta ta. So I think that really helped me focus, God, preparations, and then the funding too.
Okay. So my last two final questions before we take questions from our general viewers out there. Does a full funding guarantee an F1 visa automatically?
Nope.
Okay.
Simple answer, no.
So aside the full funding, if you are not prepared, it means you can be denied when you go for an interview, right?
Yeah, of course, you can be denied, and I've heard a lot of stories about people with food funding getting denied.
I have
And I think I learned that experience from my first application. Letting the GPA get into my head, so nothing gets into my head again.
I have two guys who got denied last year. One PhD in mathematics, another one, I think data science masters, but it was Mastercard. I think
Oh,
Arizona State University. Yeah, Mastercard was even paying the flight.
wow.
Yeah, and one of my guys, he also PhD mass, he also got denied full funding. The two of them, but when they went for the second time, they got it.
So probably something happened the first round.
Yeah. So, as you rightly clarified, you having a full funding doesn't automatically mean you are going to get a visa approved. Aside the full funding, prepare very well and give
Mhm.
it your best shot as Iba advised.
Yeah.
Okay. Can everyone land a full funding without any deficits?
Oh yeah. Everyone can learn that opportunity if you have the right skills, the right background, the experiences, the values that you want to bring to the group or the team or the department that is hiring. Yes, you can land it. So it's more about the value that you bring, your experiences and your willingness to contribute to that research lab, that department, or whatever, whichever office is hiring.
Okay, thank you very
Yeah.
much. So, there's one question in the comment section, which is the person is asking, is a low GPA a death sentence? Does it mean I will not get a full funding?
No, you can get a full funding. You just have to work on it. I don't know the GPA the person is talking about,
A
but
GPA of 2.8, 2.9?
oh no, you can get a fully funded opportunity. Yeah, you can get it. There's a way about it. You have to depend on the program. That I always say, you hear me saying depending a lot because everything depends on something. I from my experience in this process, depending on whatever you have, the approach is a little bit different. So if you have a 2.8, 2.9, you can do a transcript evaluation. If it's you're looking at a program that accepts GRE, you can look at writing a GRE to boost your profile. If you have a lot of work experience, it can add up to that. Because there are some schools that will say specifically that we look at the comprehensive profile of the student. So those schools, they don't really put like a GPA there. They will like, oh, we look at the application holistically. So it's not only just focusing too much about the GP, all the other things. So the recommendation letters, your statement of purpose, all those other things will come together to make you fully funded eligible. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for that clarification.
Yeah.
So please, if you are watching us now, we are live on the Delali Network, on Facebook, on X, and on YouTube. We are almost coming to the end of the session. I've shared the link on
And
Facebook and on YouTube. Just use the link, click on it. It's a StreamYard link. Come live and come and ask our guest whatever question you have so that he will
and
attend to it before we go. Yeah,
And
Ima.
something about the GPA is that some of the schools they don't put GPA on, so you won't see the GPA. So in instances like this, you can reach out to find out the minimum GPA, and some of the schools will tell you, oh, we don't look at the GPA, we look at the overall, like the package, the holistic package. So if you get something, some schools like that, you can just whether you have a low GPA or not, you can put your things, your applications or your profile together and apply to such schools. So there are schools like that that you won't see the GPA on there, where when you reach out, they will probably tell you that, oh, we look at the application holistically. So
Okay, okay. Thank you for that clarification. So the link is in the comment section for YouTube and Facebook. Just copy it, StreamYard, click on it, enter the studio, and come live and ask your question before we draw our curtains for the session to end. There's another question here in the comment section from Junior. Is that imagine you had a full funding and you are selected for a visa interview and you couldn't make it. Does it mean that school is over and you can prepare for another for that same scholarship? Um,
they schedule you for an interview and you couldn't make it. Like, I mean, if you don't go for the visa interview, I mean,
I
you
think
lose the spot.
I think maybe he's trying to ask if he gets a full funding and he's
Mhm.
unable to go for the interview as specified due to dates issues. What happens? Sometimes people get a full funding, but because of unavailability of dates, they're
Mhm.
unable to go for the interview on time. For example, you're supposed to report in winter, but because dates weren't popping up, you couldn't even go for the interview in the first place.
Mhm.
In that
Yeah,
case, will the person lose the funding or there is a way out? I think that's what he wants clarification on.
it depends. It depends. It
Okay,
depends on the department whether they will hold off the funding for you for the next term.
okay,
Because some schools they will say that, oh, okay, we are gonna hold on probably for the funding for the spring. Let's say you are going for interview for the fall and you couldn't get a date. That means that the next term is fall, spring, sorry. So they'll be like, okay, we're still holding on the scholarship for you, see if you can come in for the spring. Some schools too, probably someone else also is available, and so they're gonna give the assistantship to the person, and then you have to be back into the pool to look for funding again. So it depends.
okay,
Yeah. But in the case of let's say you schedule an visa interview and for some reason you couldn't go, I think you lose that spot.
okay.
Yeah.
So let's take
Unless,
note of that
yeah.
clarification. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you just joined us now, I'm live with my brother Emmanuel Saforo, who is a past student of Florida International University, FIU, and he went to the US on a fully funded scholarship. I am currently sharing his page, that is his TikTok page, Emmanuel Saforo. Just go to TikTok, follow him, like his content. He has a whole lot of videos for your study abroad journey. Share some of these videos to your followers, sorry, to your family members or your friends out there. Who knows? Through his video, someone might be able to land a fully funded scholarship or a good admission and a good funding. So please, if you are watching us now, just go to TikTok and follow him. And also, you can follow him on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, the same name, Emmanuel Awoku Saforo. He is currently the residence director at UMass Amherst and he was an intern at summer intern at Florida International University, former president of FIU HESA. Oh, nice, nice. He actually has a strong profile. He has a strong profile. So please, once you are done following him on TikTok, just go to LinkedIn as well and search for him and follow him there. Also, he comes for live session every week, almost every week. Sometimes you see me joining his sessions as well, and he shares a whole lot of nuggets there. Aside him, there is this good brother of mine too, Festus. Let me just share Festus,
Yeah,
TikTok.
Festus is right there. You
Yeah,
can see him on my profile.
let me share that of his page as well so that people who are also interested in studying abroad can follow Festus and check out his content as well. So this Festus, this is his page, and honestly, Festus is doing a yeoman's job. He has this thing that we call linked coming Festus, link. Is it link tree, right?
Yeah, link tree has a link tree.
Yeah. Link tree. Let me see. So link tree. So you just come here and look for him. Festus Eno link tree. Let me share this tab instead. Now, when you come here, you see he has what? Prospective grads WhatsApp community. You can click on it and join. Prospective undergraduates WhatsApp group. You can join. List of accredited public health programs in US. Ubuntu Rising Scholars Program, CPT and OPT resources, list of universities in the United States, universities in the United Kingdom, DLIs in Canada, all-in-one resources for prospective grad applicants, higher education and student affairs directory, test materials. So please, you can also follow Festus Eino. He's also, I think, a student currently at UMass Amherst, right?
Yeah.
So you can follow him as well on TikTok and
When you
Linktree.
go to, yeah, LinkedIn, when you click on his LinkedIn, you should be able to see um
Okay.
his, yeah, Festus is one of my very good friends. So usually see me on his live or will be on my live and stuff like that.
So let's please follow all these people, Emmanuel Saforo, Festus, because they are really, really doing a very good job for the Ghanaian community in terms of study abroad. Okay, so I have someone here who is waiting. Gideon, you welcome to TDN Live. You can unmute your mic and turn on your camera if you want to, and go ahead and ask your question, Gideon.
Hey, thank you very much for such a wonderful opportunity. I think I'm privileged. For the sake of where I am, I think I can unmute my screen for now. I've joined an AI hackathon from Aspire community, so I can
Yes, that's
All
fine.
right.
You can
So
continue with it.
my question is, as a graduate prospect from Ghana, what are some of the what are some of the tips that I can use in order to unlock full funding opportunities in the US?
I was struggling to hear that, but I don't know if Iman has heard him clearly. Gideon, can you try and unmute yourself and come again? There were a lot of breakages when you were communicating, so we didn't hear you clearly.
All right. Thank you very much. I was saying that um, I want to apply for the graduates. I want to apply for graduate school in the US schools, but then I'm looking forward for funding options. And
Okay.
since the funding happens to be the challenge most often when I'm applying. Last year, for instance, I tried to apply for
Oh, I think the network, but he's talking about what tips or strategies he has to put in place to secure funding because from the way he's speaking, I think he
Yeah.
has tried before, but funding was the major challenge for him. So I believe that should be what he's asking. So if you can go ahead and respond to that.
So it comes back to the program, like what program he's looking to study and his
Okay.
qualifications. Because some of the programs you may need to secure a professor in terms of the funding aspect because you'll be accepted into someone's lab and then they will fund, your sorry. So it comes back to the program and also the person's qualification. And also the program choice, person's qualification, and also the school, the university that the person is applying to. Oftentimes, you see some of our Ghanaian brothers, they only apply to schools that they hear people talk about in the limelight, which means those schools are very popular. But there may be some schools that Ebua Obi and Dinda, but the same program, they have abundance of funding. So they have to do the hard work by fishing out schools for themselves rather than sitting on waiting for people to share schools that is very common or very popular. Yeah, not common but popular. So it's all sometimes about the school choice, the program choice, and the person's qualifications as well. So if it's the program choice, you may need to look at another program that your interests align and your background helps you. This is about your academic qualifications, you have to build back your profile so that you'll be a strong candidate to apply. If it means doing a transcript evaluation, publishing some papers, having some work experience, or even writing a GRE, you may need to do all those things. If it's about the school choice, it means that you have to dive more deeper and look at schools that are not really popular but still have the goodies and the funding that you need.
Okay. So Gideon, I don't know if you've heard that. I believe you should, even though your network was messing up. I believe you should. If you haven't, this session is recorded, and right after the session, you find a recorded version on YouTube, and just go and listen to the response Mr. Ima has given to you. So I'm taking you off now. I'm still giving about 2 or 3 minutes. So if you have a question, please, there is a StreamYard link in the comment section. I just shared it now on Facebook and YouTube again. Click on it, join us live and ask your question we go. Before we go. And please, once again, if you've not followed our brother Emmanuel Saforo, please just go to TikTok now, type the name Emmanuel Saforo and follow him on TikTok. Share his content. There are a lot of videos he has there. Please go and share it. And as I mentioned, almost every week he comes for these live sessions on TikTok. And you even have the opportunity to ask him questions concerning whatever challenges you are facing about your study abroad process. And he has mentored several people who have landed admissions and funding. This year, if you want to succeed, you must follow Who No Road, as the local say. Follow Who No Road, because if you don't follow Who No Road, you might end up entering or falling into a pit. So let's take note of that.
Okay. And you can even you can show Festus LinkedIn, because
Okay.
Festus usually also post stuff on there that
Okay.
they can start following him, and
Festus. The surname is Eno, right?
yeah, Festus and
Okay. So this is loading. I believe this should be his page as well on LinkedIn, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you can also follow Festus Eno. He's a higher ed candidate at UMass Amherst, and he's also doing a great job. Like Festus too is very solid, just like how Ima is solid. So please follow him as well. He also has a TikTok account. You follow that as well. Let me just share his TikTok account as well. You follow that as well and consume most of the content there. And even I think just a few days ago, Festus was even live teaching people how to draft a very strong academic CV or resume for graduate school application. He was teaching people from the scratch, from like the beginning to the end. I even passed through that session. So please, if you are not following these guys, you are doing yourself a great harm or a great disservice. Okay, so let me just take this last question here, then we call it a day. From Benedict also, with a background in BSc, construction, technology, and management, can I apply for a straight PhD in civil engineering?
Yeah, I think the persons can. You may need to look at schools that will accept like a straight BSc PhD track, and also you should be ready for what PhD comes with, the research and all those other things. So you should have a strong profile. Sorry. But the long and short to your question is yes. You can do a straight PhD. You just have to look for the school that will accept that, and also you should have the strong profile for a straight PhD from bachelor's.
Okay, so Benedict, as he rightly mentioned, some schools accept a straight PhD, others to ask you to get a master's first. So just double check as he mentioned. So take note of that. Ima, so what are your final closing remarks for our prospective applicants? We know even though some schools have their deadline closed, there are some still open. Even FIU, as we showed them, was the deadline, their priority deadline is December 31st. So what is your advice for people who still want to go ahead and put in applications for fall 2026 and general
Jan-
advice for people who are
January 31st.
yeah, January 31st, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so my final advice is the process involves a lot of money. So if anything, try and save money for the process. If you haven't started, start saving money for the study abroad process, the evaluation, the transcripts, you sending transcripts from your school to the university, GRE, if you write GRE, the process requires money. So make sure you are saving some money for your study abroad journey. And also don't let your background limit you saying that, oh, okay, because I'm for a poor family, I cannot do study abroad. Some of us are not from well-to-do backgrounds, but we are still able to be here today. So don't let your background suadeɛ, learn hard, take on those leadership opportunities, volunteer, do community service. All those things are very key skills that's gonna help you and save money. Save money is very key. Form good relationship with professors because it's gonna go a long way to help you, because you don't want to be the student who you've gotten everything you need for a study abroad process, but then you are struggling with recommendation because you don't know any professor, or you don't have that great relationship with people, or professors. So please, please and please again. And also, if you're still in school and you're watching me, do the internships, do the practicums. When you come for the long vacs, work in the industry or the field of, like the field that you are studying in. Do those, if it's even volunteer, do it. You'll be able to build your profile in that aspect or that field. It's very key, very very key. Yeah, but thank you so much for being here today. And also make sure you are following Delali. He brings resource people on every day, weekly or sometimes, just to educate the dear brothers and sisters back home, or everyone back home, those who are interested in this study abroad journey. So please keep following him. And Delali, thank you so much for the opportunity to for me to share my experience. And we thank God for also giving us this day for this to happen.
Thank you very much, Ima. I think we still have to find time and do funding, particularly graduate assistantships. We
Yeah.
have to find, like, in the coming months, we have to find time and go deeper into funding assistantships, strategies to
Oh,
put in place.
I remember something. Can you give me like 30 seconds to share that?
Sure, sure, sure.
So one thing I also want to share is that if you are doing the study abroad journey, make sure that you are in circles with people who are also doing the same thing. Sometimes this journey can feel lonely and feel tiring. So if you are not in contact or you are not in a support, like a group of people who are also doing similar things, you would want to give up easily. But if you have friends who are also doing the same thing, you find the energy and the support from them. So find people who are doing the same thing that you are doing and be in groups checking up on each other and providing morale to each other. It's very key. It's very, very key. Very, very key, because sometimes the journey can feel tiring and you want to give up. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ima. So hopefully in next 2 weeks' time, that is on 31st, same time, I'll be bringing you another person from Canada.
Okay.
This guy is a MasterCard scholar. So if I say
Okay.
MasterCard, he came to Canada and MasterCard paid for his masters. MasterCard paid for his flight ticket. MasterCard was giving him stipend. So this guy never worked in Canada. MasterCard
Wow.
was paying for his accommodation, feeding, and everything. When this guy finished his masters, he landed a combined masters and PhD with funding over 200,000 Canadian dollars. I am bringing
Wow.
him on board next 2 weeks, and he'll come and share his insights on the Delali network. So please don't miss that session because it's going to be power packed and powerful. He's a KNUSC graduate, Kwame Nkrumah Science of University, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. He graduated from there and he came to Canada. He finished his master's at the University of British Columbia and has now moved to a different school for a combined master's and PhD. So he'll be
Wow.
joining next 2 weeks. Yeah.
Good, 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 good job. I'm sure they are gonna benefit like a lot from that presentation.
So please just continue to share our content out there. I have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel about how to search for schools, how to apply for funding, how to apply for your Canadian visa, how to identify professors. Even I had a practical video on how to submit a full graduate school application. I use University of Manitoba as an example. You can watch that video for your graduate school applications as well. Keep on sharing our content out there. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, follow us on X or Twitter, and follow us on YouTube and subscribe as well. So we'll meet you same time next 2 weeks. That is on 31st January, and bring you that Mastercard scholar. And one thing that I missed out is this guy got his visa for Canada and US in the same month. He got
Wow.
F1 visa for Canada, and he got F1 visa for US and visa for Canada, student visa for both. Then he became confused. He didn't know which to go in for, because I think University of Alabama at Tuscaloosa was funding
Mhm.
him for a PhD,
Wow.
millions of US dollars. But he had to consult some one or two people and finally settled on Canada.
Wow.
So I'll
The
be
guy is
bringing.
a good guy.
Oh yes, I'll be bringing him on board in 2 weeks' time, and he'll come and
Okay.
share his experience with our followers. So please turn on your notifications and don't miss that session. Thank you for
Yeah.
joining.
Thank
God
you.
bless you all, and do have a lovely day or evening. Bye bye.
Bye.